Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Alie. I'm a registered dietitian with the Chef program. And it's so great to see some familiar faces from our last class. And I just wanted to welcome you all back for our second cooking class with Chef. And wanted to start by just kind of going around to see who we have with us today. If you can just say your name, one thing you're grateful or thankful for, and then also one thing you're interested in learning about today before we even start cooking. So again, my name is Alie, and I am grateful and thankful for the rain last night. It was a great surprise, a beautiful rainbow at the end of it, which was nice by my house, so I'm very thankful for that. And one thing I'm hoping just to learn a little bit more about ThriveWell and your community and how we can continue to support each other. But yeah, so who would like to start? Can we start with Shirley, maybe?
I'm Shirley, and this is my second time to come, and appreciate both of you so much. And I am always interested in hearing about the nutritional value of the foods.
Yes. Wonderful, okay.
I'm Denise. This is my second time with you ladies as well.
Yes.
And again, we're in our states of survivorship. We want to learn more about nutrition and get off some of the bad stuff we used to eat. And the food that I took home last time was really good.
Oh, awesome, okay.
I am Seema. I've been with the Tribal Yoga program since 2008,
Okay.
and I just love to cook. So
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're with us.
I'm Gail,
Gail.
and this is also my second time to be here. I really enjoyed the last time. I even had some ladies over to my house for supper and fixed it, and it was a hit.
Oh,
And
nice.
I'm just wanting to learn some more better things to eat and more healthy recipes.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, thanks for coming back, Gail.
Hi, I'm Faye. This is my first time here. In addition to being a best captain of survival, I'm
Okay.
also pre-diabetic.
Okay.
So I'm looking for a way to eat healthy and have some food that tastes good
Tastes good.
at the same time.
Okay.
So I'm
Wonderful.
interested in learning what this American plate is all about.
Yes. Okay. Wonderful.
Mary Louise, and like ladies up, this is my second time, and thoroughly enjoyed the last one that we made, and I took some home, and my husband loved it. So that was a yay. So looking forward to taking some home again.
Wonderful.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and this is my first time after hearing about that class. I was like, I gotta go see what this is all about. So I am interested in learning how to feed us, my husband and I.
Yeah.
You know, because we tend to grab whatever, and that's not good.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, I'm glad you all made it in today. And like Faye, you kind of hinted at what today's topic is about. It's the New American Plate, created by the American Cancer Research Institute. And it's based off of what is plant-based versus what is animal-based. So how many are familiar already with the New American Plate or have heard of it before? A little bit? Okay. So again, it's created by the American Cancer Research Institute, and it divides our full plate. So if we think of this as our full plate, we're going to divide it into three. And if we divide it into three, we want at least 2/3 to be plant-based, and then 1/3 to be animal-based products. And so when we think of that, we're trying to get all the vitamins and minerals from that 2/3 of our plant-based products. But then there's also a lot of B vitamins and iron and rich sources from our animal products too. So we want to combine both portions. And research has shown that this has actually helped to prevent and improve treatment after cancer too. So this is why something that can benefit everybody. So even if you have family members that are eating with you too at the dinner table that are not going through their cancer journey, they can still benefit from the vitamins and minerals that we're presenting today. And so we are going to start off before with just a little bit of culinary skills, but I see we have someone join us. What is your name? Edith? Wonderful, awesome. Well, oh no, don't worry. We were starting off with one thing that we're grateful for and one thing we want to learn today.
Grateful
Yes.
for family
Wonderful.
and learn healthy foods
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So whatever brought us in today, hopefully we touch on just a little bit throughout our time together. But I said we want to start with some culinary safety before we do anything. So I already set up all your stations with this, but I put down a wet paper towel before, and that's just going to help us to have a sturdy cutting board. You can do this at home. I know last time, sometimes, especially if you have something slippery like our tomatoes, that can start to slip and slide. So putting that down is going to help hold us safe and in one spot. You can also see our culinary mat today, or our cutting board. We have our chef healthy habits. This is something that we, again, we're in the community working with children of all ages. And so this is the 5 healthy tenets of chef that we like to encourage. And so it's fill half our plate with colorful fruits and vegetables. We also like to eat healthy breakfast every day to fuel and start our day off well. Choose to hydrate my body with water. Yep, I see Denise, you got the water going. Gail, you got it going. We want to sit less and move more. So today we're on our feet the majority of this hour. So that's going to also count as being active, being up and about. So we're good. And then I cook and eat at home at least 5 times a week. And this is one recipe that you can cook at home. So with that, the last safety skill for today that I'll talk about, I shared a little bit last time too, but of how we hold our knife. We have this beautiful knife with us today. We're going to use our thumb and our pointer finger to pinch the top, right here at the top of the blade, and then curl our last 3 fingers underneath. This gives us good control. It also helps remove just a little bit of that stress from our wrist while we're doing that. And you can use your second hand with a claw. We're gonna curl our fingers. We use our knuckles as a guide whenever we're chopping to prevent any fingertips being cut off today. And so 2 safety tips are claw and how we hold our knife, and then just to guide through as you need. But yeah, definitely feel free to make it, to adjust that hold if you need to. All right, so now we can jump into our recipe. We're going to start off with our pita chips for today. So again, the recipe we're making are Greek nachos. A little different. We're going to start off with our whole grain pita chips. I'm going to go ahead and put on my glove since I'll pass this around. And I'm just going to do a handful. So regular nachos, sometimes you'll see, if you want to pass this around. Thank you. So regular nachos, you usually are using either like corn tortilla chips. And so we're doing something a little bit different. Pita chips, again, have a little bit more of a crunch, a little bit thicker texture. Right, that crunchiness we need. And I think go ahead. I'll give a few more seconds. All right, and so again, we're using a whole grain. It's made with a whole kernel. I know we talked a little bit about what a whole grain is last time. That whole grain, if we think about it, you can even use your hands to show it. It has all 3 parts of a grain kernel. We talk about refined grains versus whole grains. So that whole grain has all 3 pieces, the bran, the germ, and the endosperm. That has a lot of fiber, protein in it. And so when we have refined grains, so something that's like a white bread or white rice, that's removing those key components that also have a lot of vitamins in it too. And so we're using a whole grain, all of the wonderful parts that we talked about today. And 2, we're also using this. You can create this recipe on a large scale, use the whole bag of pita chips and serve a family event, especially with football coming up soon. All right, so I'm going to set my plate off to the side a little bit. And can y'all tell me, is this a plant-based or an animal-based product? Plant-based, right? It's going to fall into our 2/3 portion of this new American plate. Wonderful. Whole grain? Yes, wheat and grain, yep. So the next step, I'm going to go ahead and grab my cucumber. We're going to dice up our cucumber. And everyone's going to get a half of a cucumber today. So I like to start off by cutting the end, and everyone should have a trash bowl next to them, or with your partner, you can go ahead and just toss that to the side. And I like cutting the top so that way I get, again, a flat edge. I'm gonna go ahead and cut down the base. And that's, again, we just wanna, because cucumbers are a round type of vegetable, or I'm sorry, actually a fruit because it has seeds, I want to get it on a flat surface. So I went ahead and cut this way. I also kept the peel on it, so if you don't like the peel, you can definitely take it off. It's a little bit of a tougher texture and also has a lot of fiber in it too. So I kept mine on. I'm gonna just make some half-moon slices now. And using my claw as I get to the end, I don't want to cut any fingers off. There we go. Now to dice it, so I have my half moon as we see like this. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the moon in half, and then I'm gonna turn it 90 degrees and cut again this way, just to get smaller chunks. Anything that's a little too big that I may have missed, I'll try to chop that a little bit more. So like I was saying, that peel has that added nutritional benefit, but it also is that strange texture, so you can always take it off. But it's the high fiber portion of it. So as we're talking about fiber, can anyone tell me, or what have you learned about fiber before? The benefits of fiber, right? Helping to clear our digestion system, keep us a little bit more regular, right? Fiber also can feed our bacteria in our gut. So we have beneficial, healthy gut bacteria that the fiber can feed. How's it going? Yes, we're cutting both sides. Depending on how much cucumber you want, you don't have to do both sides.
So I'm supposed to use these, but I use
English cucumbers? Yes. I like the moisture that we find in this cucumber. It's a little bit more, has more moisture and a good flavor. So as we're talking about fiber too, so again, the cucumber has lots of great fiber. So do our whole grains because they have the bran, the germ, and the endosperm. They have lots of great fiber to it. But with fiber, benefit not only is the helping us stay regular, that healthy digestion system, but it also helps us to heal. It helps our healing process. So there's new research that shows a healthy gut microbiome actually helps us to heal faster and quicker and better. So lots of benefits to our fiber today. I'm gonna go ahead, I think I'll use just half for right now. Half of a red bell pepper. So next we have our olives. These are pitted black olives ready to go. And I found this awesome snack pack. It's about I believe a cup of olives. So I'm gonna cut it in half and actually just cut our olives just a little bit today. Actually, I'm going to cut it into 4s. The whole, depending on how much olives you would like or would want. Yeah.
What is the salt content, sodium
of this, so I believe they should be low sodium. I can double check the package or the nutrition label for you. On this one, it doesn't show. No. Yes. So this is actually acting as our seasoning for today. Instead of adding any sodium or extra salt, we're just using our olives as a extra flavor, extra salt.
So whenever I'm making a dish, I tend to just use one salty product.
One.
Whether it's the pita bread or it's just
Oh, okay. Wonderful. That's another great way, I think, to also cut down your sodium. It's just using one product that has sodium. I know. I gotcha. Sodium too, it can be pretty high in packaged products. That's why it's always great to check that nutrition label. So these are quite large chunks. And use just as much olives as you would like. I'm going to go ahead and add them on just a little bit. So with our olives, we're looking at highly processed versus minimally processed food. So while the olives have been processed just a little bit, they have been pitted and brined in that sodium, they are still a plant-based option or plant-based source that is entirely how you would find the product or find our produce out in nature, right? So if you see an olive tree, you'll see olives looking pretty similar to this, or at least the green olives. And so that's how we can kind of consider from highly processed to minimally processed food. If the food looks like how it was grown out in nature, that means that it's a minimally processed food. Versus if it looks completely different, then there's going to be a little bit more concern that it's a highly processed. So if we think about it, our cucumbers look just like they're grown, right? Out in nature on the vine. Same thing with our peppers, our olives. Now our pita chips, they do look a little bit different from what wheat is going to look like, right? But it is processed with all the same nutrients in it. So that's why the whole grain or whole wheat is the best option to go for, because it has all the same minerals that you're going to find in the actual, right, the whole grain. It's in how you find it in nature. So that's why it has been processed, but that's something that we consider is a little more on the minimally processed, because it still contains all the same nutrients, right? All right, so the next step, we're gonna grab our yogurt for today. We're gonna make our nacho sauce, right? So instead of using some queso or regular, what we think of Tex-Mex nachos with some cheese sauce, we're gonna use our Greek yogurt today. It's a non-fat, plain Greek yogurt. So again, the great part about Greek yogurt, it's strained a little extra than regular yogurt, so it's going to have higher protein content, a little bit lower lactose too. So any lactose intolerant individuals, the Greek yogurt is a okay or a safer option depending on how sensitive you are to lactose. And then we're using plain, so that way we can give it its own flavor, its own texture to it too. So with that, we're going to go ahead and add our seasonings in. Oh, here we go. So if you see the small cup, we already added in, and I believe it should be, let's see. It is 1 teaspoon of oregano and then half a tablespoon of garlic powder. And this is what we're going to season, again, a little bit more Mediterranean flavors with the oregano right into our Greek yogurt. And yes, please. That'd be great. We're going to pass out some spoons right now. I'm also going to add in our lemon juice. So this is going to make it just a little bit more of a thin texture, of a thinner, thank you, consistency. So I'm going to start with adding the seasoning. And then I'm going to squeeze in our lemon. You definitely have to be careful with the lemons. They do still have seeds. So one quick trick, if you don't have like a lemon squeezer on hand, is I'm just going to turn the lemon upside down in my hand and just let it drip out. Hopefully I catch the seeds. That's always a trick. All right. Right, so you know exactly what's going into your dressing, which is great.
And we can pronounce the names.
Right, you can say Greek yogurt, oregano, which is wonderful. Again, we're gonna consider it a little bit less processed. And the benefit of that too is that if you're limiting your processed food intake, you can also have a rich diet in fruits and vegetables. We're getting that 2/3 of our plant-based product. But as we're mixing our sauce, what category would the sauce fall under? Animal or plant-based? Animal, right? So we have still that dairy yogurt's coming from the milk, which is okay. We have 2 animal products today that we're putting into our recipe. So we have our Greek yogurt, and then you may see it on your tray already. We have also some feta cheese to give a little bit more flavor into what we're eating today. All right. And I'm gonna go ahead and just add that right on top. Not to the mixture, just on top. It's going to be one of our toppings. And we also have some fresh dill. So if you're still mixing, you can add the fresh dill either as a sprig on top to decorate, to give more flavor, or you can add it straight into your yogurt seasoning too. So the way we're going to cut or use the dill, I'm going to chop off the bottom of the dill, the stem. I'm going to use the top part. Even if you just rub it in your fingers right now and smell it, it's very aromatic. It's beautiful. So that's why we love to use our fresh dill. I'm just going to give it a quick chop. So as we chop, we're bringing out more of those. You can take off the stem. It's a little bit dense, a little bit tougher. So I'm just going to use the bottom half, or the sprigs. I'm giving it a quick chop too, so more of the aromatic flavors come out. Anytime you chop or rub a fresh herb or a spice, you can really smell the aromatic tendencies of it too. So I added a little bit to my yogurt, just because I wanted to add the last little bits into it, give it a little more flavor. And then I'm also putting it right on top as a color and flavor decoration. It's coming out a little more like dollops, but that's all right. There we go. Now, we are changing up the recipe just a little bit today. We're adding also some chickpeas. So to make this a complete or more rounded, well-rounded meal, we're adding some chickpeas to add a little bit, not only fiber, but also some protein, more protein, and also some iron to our dish today too. So if you have a heater or a pan in front of you, I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. At medium to high heat. It's a little tricky, so you'll just want to look for the red line of dots. And about medium to high heat works well. All right. Medium to high heat. So for our chickpeas, I'm going to go ahead, you have about 1 tablespoon of olive oil. You definitely don't need as much olive oil, so I did just a little portion of our olive oil. And everyone, it's divided individually for your chickpeas. So you can combine them together and then divide them afterwards, but there should be 2 cups of chickpeas per tray, or 1 cup per person. So I'm just heating up the olive oil just a little. Medium to low, yes. We're just trying to add a little more texture with the chickpeas. We're going to season them and then also make them a little bit more crunchy. So I have my olive oil heating up here, and I'm gonna go ahead and add my chickpeas in. There you go. Ooh, yes, I hear it sizzling. So some flavor I'm gonna add to it is just a little bit of the same seasonings that we just used. So I have garlic powder, which I'll pass around, and then some oregano as well, just to add that, again, extra seasoning, extra flavor. There we go. So the great thing about these burners, these are induction burners, so you won't actually feel the heat as much. If you put your hand over, you won't feel it as much as a regular burner, which is great. Here you go. I'll pass around some seasoning if y'all want to season. Oh, you got it? Okay. Would y'all like any seasoning for your chickpeas? Here you go. And I'm just giving it a quick stir. Yep. We're gonna give it a few minutes. Yeah, so you can roast the chickpeas as well, throw them into the oven with some olive oil and seasoning. You can actually make them like chips, like very crunchy. Or we're doing just like today, just toasting them up a little bit, getting some flavor on them. All right, I'm gonna let it go for about another minute or so, and then we'll add them on. So for our chickpeas, again, we're adding it into our 2/3 2/3 of plant-based products. Great. All right. I can smell it just a little too. Good. So once you get your chickpeas to your texture that you like and your seasoning, you can add it just straight onto your nachos. Yes. I added just a little bit of seasoning. If there's some garlic powder and some oregano, if you still have some extra seasoning, you can use that too. I actually have a little bit of extra dill here, so I'll throw it on. It's on my cutting board. It's just a little pinch. Yes, Gail. Oh, that's okay. Would you like to use mine? Okay. Oh, that's okay. Okay, thank you. What do you think of the chickpeas? Good? Good? Awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my chickpeas right on top. Try to catch any that fall off. So if you're making this at home, what extra kind of protein would you use if you're making this at home? If you're wanting to add any more protein, what kind of protein would you use at home?
I would use kidney beans or any lentils.
Lentils, kidney beans, I love that idea.
Nuts have protein.
You can add some nuts, make it a little bit crunchier. Toast them. Yes, ooh, that would be great.
It's smelling good, ladies.
Awesome. Yes. Any questions so far? We're coming to the end, so don't worry. We're almost there. Just the cheese. Yep. Oh, yeah. That works perfect, too. All right. How are we doing? Oh, you got your chickpeas on already. You're set. Okay. Oh, nice. It looks like you're ready for the. You can definitely add your feta on too if you want. That's the last part. And I was going to talk a little bit about the benefits of feta.
Feta good for if you don't eat much cheese, if you don't eat quite
Yes. Yes. This the feta too is it's aged a lot more, so it has a higher like yes, like the acid. Yes, I consider it more of like an acid, and you can really taste that acidicness of it. Yeah. But how's everyone doing with the chickpeas? Good, good.
I would put a whole can.
I know. We did just a little bit of chickpeas, about half a cup today. But you can definitely do more, like Shirley was saying, maybe add a whole can or at least half of a can onto it. You can definitely, again, you can make this large, like a sheet tray, and you can have it for the whole family. Everyone can enjoy it. And you get to educate them a little bit on it too, about it being, again, those 2/3 plant-based, 1/3 animal-based products, which is what we're aiming for. Yeah. All right. And then now just our last step. I see we're adding chickpeas on. It looks beautiful back there, Edith. Oh, nice. Jump right in. Alrighty. So for this last step, we're gonna add some feta cheese right on the top just to add that a little extra flavor. Also, again, it's gonna be an animal-based product, but we're getting still protein and calcium from our cheese. And two, cheese. With the cheese too, we're getting, again, that acidic flavor, we're getting our calcium, and then it combines well too, the protein and the iron that's in our chickpeas. It's helping everything blend together. So you don't have to add, this is about 1/4 of a cup, you definitely don't have to add it all, but I'm gonna just sprinkle some on top. So before we start to dig into our nachos, yes? Oh, Hannah. Oh, yes, okay. I think you can go ahead and leave it for right now, and if you just, I guess, don't mind helping Jose.
Yeah.
Okay. More plates. If you want to get maybe just one of the plates you talked about, like the white ones that we washed. Yeah. So those are the only ones that we have from there. Yeah, that sounds great. Alrighty, so we have our finished product. As you see, you started mixing it all together so you can eat it with your nachos. I mean, definitely a great way to get our sauce mixed into everything. But before we dig in, what do we see? What do we smell? What are the different ways for our senses to be involved in what we're eating today? So what is something that you smell? If you just take a quick whiff. The dill, olive oil, garlic. Dill. Ooh, some very aromatic flavors with the dill, the garlic. I love it. How about what do you see? Because we eat with our eyes all the time. What do we see? Lots of colors. All the color, right? Again, with the colors, we get more nutrients with more colors. Those phytochemicals, phyto meaning color, all of our chemicals, which are vitamins and minerals, we're wanting to bring in color.
Visual texture too.
Right, the visual texture with the feta, adding a little bit more of the curds to it. Yeah. Anyone else? What about what you taste? I see we started to dive in. Yes, dive in. What do you taste? What do you think with the flavors? Okay. Yes. With the lemon, right? The benefit of the lemon too, we have that vitamin C in it. It's also bringing that iron available from the chickpeas. It's helping our body absorb that iron, which is wonderful to help build healthy red blood cells. It carries oxygen throughout our body. So we need that iron, lots and lots of iron. Awesome.
I'm just saying, I did it.
You did it. I know we accomplished something today in the past hour or so, a little bit longer than an hour, but what are some takeaways today, and what was your experience like just being in the kitchen together with our community of Thrivewell? Fun? Tasty, hopefully? What was your experience like in the kitchen? Fun? Without meat? Yeah.
And it was easy.
Easy enough, right? Something you can kind of assemble as a quick snack, maybe about half portion for a snack. A quick snack you can make at home. And hopefully some simple ingredients too, not too much, so you need to go about a lot. The recipe, I can send it to you. I don't have it printed out today, which is my bad. Oh, you have it? Okay, I was like, thank you. Yes. Okay. For the recipe for today. These are...
Have it diced up and then just assemble it another day.
Yep. You can definitely have everything ready for you and then almost eat it throughout the week. The dressing, the sauce with our yogurt, you can keep that up to 3 or 4 days in the fridge. Yes.
What I usually do is when I buy vegetables, I already chop everything up, wash chop.
That's perfect.
And then for a meantime, it's just assemble it.
Yep. Yeah. That's perfect. A great way. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone, today for joining us with our Cook with Chef. We had the New American Plate. Again, we talked about 2/3 of plant-based products, 1/3 of animal-based, focusing in on what the American Cancer Research Institute has taught us, right, about this New American Plate. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at info@chefsa.org. But if not, I would love to talk with you guys after, too. I hope you enjoyed today.